DJ Solstice, not back with the gig log, but back with something a little special and part 2 of my lighting video about how I use Freestyler and make stuff look awesome. We have a light that our friends at Shehds have so graciously gifted to me to review and discuss on this channel.
Now you see what I'm talking about.
Shehds hit me up, they saw my YouTube channel, saw that I get a decent amount of traction, and of course, all of you wonder about my lighting. So, I have a moving head right here. They sent me this to review, and we're gonna check it out. I used to use moving heads in some of my gigs, which you might be able to see in some of the clips I'm gonna insert now. Reason I stopped is I actually sold moving heads and got lasers and never looked back. I've used moving heads once or twice in my rigs. It's just Freestyler isn't ideal for operating moving heads. It works, but not amazingly. So, plus I can't use fog or haze at a lot of gigs, and the ones I do, the lasers look way cooler, so let's just do that. But anyway, getting into this box. Some packing material is packaged very well. Head may be cut off here, but I'm gonna get the unit out. Get this off the table, and bam, there you go. So what we have right here is an LED beam and wash 19x15 RGBW zoom light. So it is a beam and a spot in one. Plastic housing, so there's that. Looks like metal plate at the bottom, but does look like a build, nice solid build quality. On the back you got your typical 3-pin DMX in and out. You got PowerCon, as you can see right there, PowerCon in and through. On the front is a menu, and of course the Shehds logo right there. Shehds. In the box you do get all your essentials, Chinese DMX cable, which we don't really use, and PowerCon. They do have the quick release brackets, which are a China staple. They work great. You don't see them too much here in the US. So we are going to plug this in and go through some of the fixtures, features, all that good stuff, and just get on into it. And then I will show you how we are going to DMX this and give you a little demo with DMX. So let's plug this bad boy in. I've got some power below the table right here. We're going to plug it in. Excuse my disappearance. And we're gonna turn this bad boy on. Now I'm actually going to slowly do it because you don't want to mess up the sensors. It's pretty much ready to go. So, on the screen here, you may not be able to see it, but we have menu, address, display, mode, etc. So, obviously, something like menu, there is reverse, mic sensitivity, signal mode, no signal mode, reset, factory default, factory set. I'm not sure how to get back to the regular menu. Is it touchscreen? It is not touchscreen. Just go back with the back arrow keys, the same as the back mode. Address, of course, is DMX. Display, you can invert, English, Chinese, mode. So let's run it first in sound mode. Whew, very bright. So this is a sound auto mode. So it's a nifty little light. Auto mode's not bad, actually. It is pretty bright. There's a strobe for you right there. It mostly does, it seems like this show mode is meant for it to be upside down, not as a totem, because most of the movements are towards the top. Let's show you the other auto mode. We'll go to fast auto. So there's a fast moving show. Not sound active, it's just automatic. So pretty cool, it's bright, illuminates a lot. Quick movements, which is nice. It's pretty quiet. For a moving head, some of them can be very loud and very obnoxious. This one is not. Motors seem pretty smooth. Nice solid light, great output. Now let's really, you gotta DMX this stuff. You should never have your lights in auto mode. It looks terrible. I don't need to be the only one to tell you that, but to everybody that's running it in auto mode, you're really missing out on your opportunity. So what we're gonna do instead is get this DMX'd. I'll show you how the DMX works, and we'll go from there. So we're gonna switch this off, get it into DMX, and come back. So now we are gonna remove the both light and grab a moving head. So add a remove fixtures. Same thing with the fixture creator. I'll show you that again. We have the Shehds light moving head, so I will show you here. It's under Shehds, if I could find Shehds. Different picture, but Chinese lights, doesn't really matter. Shutter, strobe, intensity, and as mentioned, there's a zoom channel, red, green, blue. There'd be gobos in here, pan, tilt, fine pan, fine tilt, fine pan, fine tilt. Over here, pan, tilt, etc., etc. I'm not going to bore you with all the boring stuff. Adding it into here, find Shehds again. Oops, gotta remove this one first. And we'll add that in here. Start at row 2. Move fixtures. So more or less the same kind of stuff applies as in the last video, but the only difference, again, more channels. So more stuff to preset and have do. The other cool stuff is with the moving head, you get this, which lets you kind of direct where you want the moving head to go. You can also use the manual controls over here, first, center, last, which is more previous step, center, offset, pan and tilt. This is where you would start. If you were going to do a program or a scene, you have to click these. This is basically, ooh, package on the way. Awesome. That is going to be something special you'll see in a gig log coming up very shortly, actually. So I'm glad that popped up. As mentioned, there are some shapes which are pretty cool. They finally added a 100 degree. It's coming from Tommen, as you can see, even better. So, as you can see, there's some cool shapes. Square, and when you just click on, the moving head will actually follow that shape. You can also move the shape around, you can rotate it, you can resize it. So as mentioned, there's all kind of shapes in here. Some really wonky ones, some straight lines, some twists, some V's, all sorts of cool stuff. You can play with it yourself, find some cool stuff. I get kind of lazy with naming side, kinda. This is what a straight line used to look like. So again, mentioned before, there was no straight line. So if you wanted it to go side to side, you would actually have to try and draw a side to side, which was a lot harder than you'd think, because these are not easy to draw or mess with. But anyway, I digress. Again, you can manually manipulate your moving head's position by that. This is speed that you want it to follow that path on, so faster is faster. If you go too fast, however, though, your moving head won't be able to keep up, and it will kind of skip some steps. You can increase the resolution for making it more fine with the path your moving head follows. So pretty cool, a lot of stuff you can do. That's with that. You have a couple extra windows, so you got your beam angle here, and there's zoom. If this was a Gobo-enabled DMX moving head, you'd have Gobo right there. You could select the Gobo. Here's color wheel. If it was a color wheel, you'd be able to select colors. These are LEDs, so they're color mixed. And that's pretty much it. You could show all panels pressing that button. Again, dimmers and whatnot. Same kind of process with programming, except there's just more things to set values to. So if you wanted them to be at a certain position, at a certain dimmer level, all strobing at once, you would adjust all of those colors, and then you would go into here, set those channel values, create that sequence, save it, go down. Same thing if you wanted to do a side-to-side motion and you didn't want to use the shape option that I just showed you, you can actually do steps where it goes from one side to the other, repeats, etc., things like that. So that's moving heads inside the software. Now we'll show you it live. We've got our light. It is in auto mode right now. We are going to get the DMX address in there. Address 2. We're going to go back to menu. Actually, we're going to go to mode to get it into DMX. Mode. DMX 512. And it should just, there we go, shut off. Okay, we're going to start up Freestyler. I'm going to show you a few things about what this light can do. So we've got it in Freestyler. I didn't set the override, but put dimmer on and red on. There we go. So now, as you can see, the light is red, and we're actually going to go to our pan and tilt, that fun little thing I showed you earlier. So I'm just dragging around the mouse right now, and as you can see, the light is moving. The bottom left quadrant is usually forward, so you want to focus most of your designs there. But it also depends on what you do with the light, because it depends on how you have it placed, as you can see right there. So what I'm going to do is show you. We're actually going to have it on the back wall here. Ooh, very bright. There you go. So running through some of the features. Like I said, you got your dimmer, you got your colors right here, red, green, blue, white. You got your zoom, so this will bring it down to that beam right there. There is no focus, but as you can see right there, the light will move in and out. So I'll actually turn this to the camera so you can see that. But it's not too blinding. There we go. So as you can see, as I'm pressing zoom, there's your fat spot wash, and there's your more tight beam. So that's part of the zoom. We're gonna bring it back over here to the thing behind me. Over a little bit, not to blind me. So as mentioned, those are your colors. There has color mixing, of course. Do a nice purple right now. The lights come out to zoom, so you can see kind of a hot spot right there. As mentioned, there's strobe. There's pan and tilt. Now, programs. Let's see what the programs do. So the first are preset color. Color mixing. Once you get to 128, it jumps. We're gonna just show it on max program speed just so you can see. So past 128 to 145, looks like it jumps. Once we get to 146, as you can kind of see, I'm gonna turn it to the camera again. Oof, and blind myself while doing so. It's kind of got a cool little like ring effect. Try not to blind you guys. As you can see, it's kind of got a cool ring effect. Bring it back over here. Bring it up to 160. Now you got a nice color fade. And again, you can zoom in and out with any of these. You could also pan tilt with any of these while it's still doing that. So very cool effect. Like it a lot. That looks pretty nifty. Keep blinding myself, but what else is new? Going up to past, so this is program pulse, they call it. This is more of the ring thingy. 174 looks like an effect mode. I'm not sure what that does. It looks like just a normal fade. That one's kind of cool. It does some cool in and out stuff. Once you get to 201, it's a different program. Kind of a pulsing. Once you get to 231, it's another cool program. Outer and then inner ring pulsing type thing. Channel 14 adjusts it, so as you can see, slow to fast. And let's see what channel, what self-propelled mode is. So this is a, what seems like it will just pan and tilt, doing whatever it wants. So it looks like this activation channel is just set to do that. Not sound active or anything, but we can add any colors. So that's kind of cool if you want just a random pan and tilt on its own. Let's keep going up on here. Now it's stopped. So once you get past 30-ish, once you get past 40, it will stop. I take that back, maybe not. Either way, let's go into past 100. Just a random mode. Past 150, still nothing. Past 180 is voice control. So basically sound active. But you can still override it, it looks like. So it will go into a slow movement until there's some sound. And you can still strobe everything, which is kind of cool. So you can have it set to sound active and strobe. Again, the sound active mode, it's not really meant to be used like that, but that's pretty much it. And that's more or less the light. And Freestyler with moving heads. So, do I like it? Yes. I might get another, I might get a couple. As mentioned before, I do have some use cases for moving heads. I do like the spotlight look for the first dance. We are doing some bigger lighting productions now, so we'll definitely get some more moving heads. Definitely look into this product. This is from Shehds, as mentioned before. I'll leave a link to the product down below so you can get yourself one. Greatly helps the channel, so you get a hookup, I get a hookup, everybody wins. So if you're gonna buy this light, buy it from that link. As mentioned before, it is the LED beam and wash 19 by 15 watt RGBW zoom light. So beam and spot and wash all in one. Beam and wash all in one. Not really a spot, but you can use it as a spotlight. So really beam, spot, wash. No gobos, which I actually like. It makes it a lot easier to program, so you don't have to worry about gobos. There's no gobo shake. There's no special prism or anything like that. But if you're in an environment where you can't use fog or haze, these are perfect because they'll wash the dance floor instead of using pars. So that's my review of the Shehds light and a Freestyler. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. You can also toggle blackout at any time, as mentioned. I don't have any buttons. Well, some of the buttons seem to overlap, so there you go. There's some cool stuff. Very cool, huh? I would show you with some fog. Unfortunately, I do not have a fog machine with me here. But I will turn off the lights so you can see a few more auto shows and everything else that this light does. So bringing open those, remember the shapes that I had mentioned earlier. I'll show you what it looks like. As you can see right there, it's going through a motion. I have red and white on right now, but let's just do red, white. Zoom to a cool little point. Now there's also like a sky crowd scan, which is pretty cool. A square, a straight pan. And as mentioned, you can move this up or down. So if you want just a crowd pan, you can do it like that. Straight out. And if you want to make it go fast, you do that. If you go too fast, it won't work though. This is a vertical, so this is just messing with the tilt. You can also do this, tilt it that way. So as you can see, pretty quick on the movement. There's a circle for you. Add some green and red, maybe add a little strobe. There's the colors. You can see that. Pretty cool. Here's kind of a cool one too. So as mentioned, definitely a cool light. A lot of possibility. Take the program speed off and then you can see the strobe. Definitely cool, huh? Have yourself your own little rave. As mentioned, you get a bunch of these, you can really do some cool shows. I haven't delved too much into moving heads. I used to, I had a pair like I mentioned. They are cool, there's a lot you can do with them. They're a lot trickier to program and get the exact look that you're looking for, but once you do, they're pretty sick. Strobe off. So that's our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please make sure to subscribe. If you're new around here, leave a like, drop a comment, whatever. Pick this up from Shehds using the link below. As mentioned, LED beam and wash, 19 by 15 watt RGBW zoom light. Cool little light, 16 channels, good to go. That's it for this video. My name is DJ Solstice. Until we meet again, friends, I hope you enjoyed this brief, but also a little bit detailed dive into how I do my lighting. Check out some of the videos from my shows so you can see all the different functions and features in action for a lot of the lights that I featured in this past video, and in general and how I use Freestyler. But until then, as mentioned, all of my lights are DMX, sparklers, blinders, pixel bars, tube lights, box lights, these, strobe lights, hex lights, everything. That's just the way it is. You want your world to be amazing in the lighting sense? Gotta DMX it. Anyway, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Peace.